Now, let me be clear. I love this movie and I appreciate how difficult it is to make a good movie. Let's get that out of the way first. But if so much money is involved, so many people, you kind of expect better than this, you know? And today I want to have a look at why I think that is. Now, also, of course, this is my opinion, right? It's not like scientifically proven or, of course, you might not agree with me, but this is how I view it. And I'll show you why I think it's wrong and then you can decide for yourself.
He's got a lot of bite left in him, huh?
This one feels like an editing error. Two shots from the same angle unintentionally left on the timeline. To make that look deliberate, you typically cut to a different angle. In storytelling, especially when you want the viewer immersed, repetition should be avoided. That technique belongs more in sports or live TV, when things happen fast and viewers may have missed it the first time around. Here, it kind of feels like a brain fart. It most likely wasn't, but it feels like it.
He's got a lot of bite left in him, huh? He's got a lot of bite left in him, huh? He's got a lot of bite left in him, huh?
Now, before we go any further, I would like to emphasize again, I really love this movie. Don't think I'm just hating on it right here, alright, guys? I mean, when this film came out, it was one of my top 10 movies ever, right? For a long time, along with Pulp Fiction, Fight Club, you know, it was in the same ballpark for me. Let's get that straight. So, of course, I'm all for director Spike Lee, right? I think he did an amazing job and I hope he's gonna do more, obviously. So, let's continue. And this is a small reminder. I mean, audio production, good audio production, it is hard, right? But it's got nothing on visual continuity. I don't care what audio people say. Alright, okay, I do care a little bit, right? I mean, I just make this statement, hopefully that will ignite the algorithm and, you know, get some discussions going here in the comments or something, right? But obviously I'm just trying to bait the comments a bit here, right? Still, I think video is much more difficult. So help me out here.
Trying to help you, you little prick.
Alright, the car slam. Monty slams the dog into the trunk twice and shuts the trunk twice. I don't think this is a mistake, it feels intentional, maybe for emphasis. Maybe they just loved the moment so much that showing it once wasn't enough. More likely, since Spike Lee is a known Knicks fan, it's some kind of cinematic therapy. He's not getting enough dunks at Madison Square Garden, so Edward Norton gets to slam dunk back mercifully without the actual dog, I think, into the trunk. But hey, it's more difficult than throwing a rock into the ocean from the beach.
Fucker, he's got a lot of bite left in him, huh? Trying to help you, you little prick. Trying to help you, you little prick.
Here Monty's cleaning blood from his neck. The first shot, he's looking in the mirror with the handkerchief against his neck. The next shot, he's looking down, holding the fabric away from his skin. The Russian next to him is still talking, so we didn't skip a moment. Audio is continuous, but the visuals don't match. Classroom visit. Here comes another continuity issue. Roke has both arms on the table, and then suddenly, one wrist is raised. Then we get a double take on a hug. I get it. You want to see both actors' faces, but maybe this was a case of limited coverage. It seems to me that they didn't have enough footage to edit this in post. Rearranging the footage would have looked even worse. And you can't really just cut the moment short, it would feel too fast. A bit more hug-in footage could have really helped. Allow me to tell you once more, I really love this Spike Lee joint. The opening sequence with the lights, right? You start up close and personal and then you move further away, right? And then you realize it's where the Twin Towers stood, right? I mean, I guess most people back in the day already knew exactly what they were looking at, but some people might not have gotten that from the get-go. And then the way it moves away and how the way the music kind of swells up, right? It gets almost like angry. I think that's a good touch, you know, the intro of the movie, that's a good touch. Back to continuity. When the penguin, who never was, returns to his chair, we'd see the same arm position error with Rogue, and another one. A girl 2 seats away fights sleep with her head up, then suddenly supports her head with her hand in the next shot. It's all during the same moment, so it's not a time jump. We can clearly see him sitting down. Speaking of time, when a student asks to use the bathroom, Jacob says, hold it in for 20 minutes. But Monty's scene only lasts a minute and suddenly the bell rings. So in the end, if the student did have a bladder infection, it's a good thing that his teacher cannot tell time. But good call, Jacob, because I think the kid was lying anyway. This movie on its own is just a clear example of good cinema, I mean, this tragedy, right, it had a huge impact on all of the world, and this movie kind of felt like a boxing bag that everybody could throw punches at for the collective anger. That's what I think anyway. Compare this to World Trade Center, for example, right, with Nicolas Cage, another movie about this tragedy. The 25th Hour just hit way harder, right? Of course, that movie, it paid respect to the first responders, and it's a good thing, but it was kind of like, I don't want to say cheesy, but it was kind of like, not really a good movie. Whereas the 25th Hour, it was fresh, it was raw, it was provocative. Again, this is like for outlet for our collective aggression. I think things like that's what sets cinema apart, right? Good movies, they need something like this, and it's rare these days, it's rare. And of course, I know, right, it's easy to criticize movies. Of course, right, as an outsider, you're not involved, it's easy. But as long as I don't have the chance to make my own movie funded by some studio, criticizing it here on YouTube is the next best thing. Now an obvious one. Rogue approaches the door to the teacher's lounge holding a bag in her right hand, reaches for the door with her left, and then when she enters, the bag switches to her other hand. Didn't realize she had these powers as well in X-Men.
You have a minute?
Got a minute? Of course, for you as many minutes as you want. Oh wait, yeah, she's not talking to me. Alright, here, right? Awkwardness justified. But it seems the frames were in the wrong order, right? Because Rogue steams off, angrily. This is, of course, a young woman, dressed sexy, allowed to enter the teacher's lounge where no students are allowed. So, how does this look, right? Especially nowadays. How does that look to a secretary, right? So it would have made more sense if the secretary would look at him and he would look back and wave at her awkwardly. I think this was the wrong order. They probably couldn't fix this afterwards in post because they probably didn't have enough footage, like with the classroom, right? It could have been fixed in post unless you have enough footage to, to fill up the gap, right? Because maybe now if they cut it, it would be too flashy, too fast, too quick, and it would destroy the rhythm of the scene. Maybe they actually caught it in post, but they couldn't fix it. It's possible. So some of you might be wondering, I'm trying to be funny by calling her Rogue. Well, the truth is I couldn't memorize her name immediately, but it's also because of this.
What do you want?
I want to be like that girl in the X-Men.
Different movie, different character, but it reminded me of her. Naturel has her head on Monty's shoulder in this shot. Cut to the next shot, she's further away and tapping his lips with her spoon. Now this next scene, I'm not gonna criticize it. Nothing to criticize here. Famous Monty rant. This scene is everything. It brought real emotional relief to a lot of people, I think, including myself. I'm including it here in this video for those who want to rewatch it again. Maybe you haven't seen it, and I would, with pain in my heart, I would tell you to stop watching and watch the movie first, maybe. On the other end, it's not like it's like a huge spoiler or something. It's just an amazing scene that you can watch over and over again. So anyway, if you want to rewatch it, go ahead. If you want to skip ahead, see you in like 5.5 minutes, alright? Alright, so to me it always felt like Spike Lee being in New York and all, he kind of had this rant somewhere, right? And he needed somewhere to put it. And what better way than a movie, right? And I always felt like he kind of came up with the script surrounding this rant, and then he turned it into an amazing movie, right? Maybe I'm wrong here. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's a brilliant movie. Again, it used to be one of my top 10 movies. Not anymore, but For a long time it was. I mean, this sort of scene and this kind of movie, today is rare, right? A lot of the movies, they're all the same, you know, and nothing provocative or new, or, you know, all these youngsters nowadays, right? They rather spend time on a fat bike instead of cinema time. And most people nowadays, they watch their videos vertically instead of horizontally. I mean, come on, man, the world is burning. But, you know, this scene, after watching this scene again, you know what? No more nitpicking, man. This movie deserves better. Of course, the video is just for entertainment and educational purposes, right? It's for anybody who is serious about editing video or editing cinema. But, you know, this movie deserves better, man. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I think it's one of the best movies in the past 3 decades. You know what, man? This movie deserves better. No more complaining, no more nitpicking. I'm done. You know, Spike Lee deserves his respect. It's good, it's amazing, I love it, and I wish there were more movies like this. The 25th Hour is highly underrated, deserves more appreciation. And anyone who disagrees should go to jail for effing life. So what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? You know, am I being too picky? Do you agree with some of these mistakes, or do you think some of these are deliberate choices? Do you agree with me that audio can be easier than photography, right? Let me know in the comments, you know, let me have it. Alright, so if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.
Subscribe quietly or there will be trouble.